Wow, a 5K? Oh, I can't believe I let Jesse convince me to do this. Oh, I've never done anything like this before. Oh, 5K? That's almost 3.2 miles of running. I can't do this. That is way too far. I've never done anything like this before. I can't do it. Caroline, snap out of it. I can do it. This is an opportunity to try something new. I just need to embrace the challenge. Just try my absolute best. I need to have a growth mindset about this opportunity. You know, at the end of the day, I will be proud of myself. I just know it. Oh, hey, Caroline here, but I guess you already know that. I was just reminding myself to have a growth mindset about this 5K that Jesse convinced me to do. Sometimes when things seem too difficult, we may automatically resort to using a fixed mindset. I know I do. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. That is what I'm here to talk to you about today. What is a growth mindset? What is a fixed mindset? We are also going to answer the question, what are some habits that develop a growth mindset? Let's break it down, starting with a fixed mindset. So, what exactly is a fixed mindset? There could be a variety of definitions for this. A fixed mindset describes those who see their qualities as unchangeable. They are either good or bad at something. People with a fixed mindset believe that their talent, skills, or intelligence cannot be changed. On the other hand, there is a growth mindset. These people thrive on challenges. They don't see failure as a way to describe themselves, but rather as an opportunity for growth. People with a growth mindset believe their intelligence and talents can be developed over time. Can you imagine what it would be like if everybody lived with a growth mindset? I'm definitely guilty of falling into that fixed mindset at times, especially when I am feeling frustrated. And maybe you are too. That's okay. We all have a fixed mindset at times. But what's important is to remember the difference and remember how we can adjust our thoughts so they shift towards a growth mindset. I'll share some simple habits you can enforce that'll help adjust a fixed mindset. There are many different steps you can take to help develop a growth mindset, but today I'm going to share a few of my favorites. The first one is simple. Change your language. Consider the impact of your words. As soon as you catch yourself saying, I can't, stop yourself and rethink it. How can you rephrase your words? Even though you might not be able to now, you might be able to if you keep trying. Believe it or not, the words you use have an impact on your well-being. When you tell yourself, I can't, your mind automatically starts telling itself all of the reasons why you can't instead of why you can. Let's use this example. If you say, I can't get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, by simply saying you can't, your mind might start rushing through a million different reasons of why you can't. Maybe listing all of the things you need to do or how late you might be getting home from practice. Try to eliminate the words I can't from your vocabulary. Instead, replace it with I'm going to keep trying or I haven't learned it yet, which leads me to my next habit of establishing a growth mindset. Harness the power of yet. By simply adding the word yet and believing in it, it allows you to see past temporary obstacles. Failure isn't an end point. By adding the word yet and believing in that one 3-lettered word, you are telling yourself that with hard work and perseverance, you can get there. The third habit I love to implement in my own life is to appreciate feedback and find value in criticism. At the end of the day, criticism is nothing more than a chance to learn more about and better yourself. A lot of the time, I think that we fear criticism. For some reason, there is this negative connotation with it. For that reason, we approach criticism with excuses and defensiveness. As you do with a growth mindset, try to keep an open mind. Feedback is a good thing because as humans, we want to grow, we want to improve. That is the purpose of criticism. It is important to point out that there is a difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. Constructive criticism is the type that you should encourage in your life. This type of criticism is given with a compassionate and helpful attitude. Constructive criticism is given with the goal to help you improve. Oftentimes, this type will provide suggestions or advice on ways to improve. And then there is destructive criticism. This type of criticism is given with malintention, maybe with the attempt to upset or embarrass you. When this type of criticism is given, typically there are no ideas or suggestions on ways to improve. It's important to know the difference here. If you feel someone is providing you with destructive criticism, share with a trusted adult who can help you figure out if and how to respond to such criticism. The next habit I want to implement when it comes to having a growth mindset is to normalize the struggle. Everybody finds something difficult in life. I think it is important to see and understand that what may be challenging for you might not be challenging for me. But just because that specific thing isn't challenging for me doesn't mean something else isn't. For example, maybe completing 10 push-ups is challenging for you, and I can do 10 push-ups. But, on the other hand, it is incredibly challenging for me to run 1 mile in under 10 minutes, but maybe you can run 1 mile in 8 minutes. We are all different individuals, meaning we have different strengths and different weaknesses, and that's okay. Can you imagine if we lived in a world where every single person was good at the exact same thing? How boring would that be? Last, but definitely not least, when it comes to a growth mindset, it is important that you celebrate your successes. Think about it this way. You've just put in all of that hard work and dedication to achieve that goal. You deserve a little celebration in honor of your accomplishments. Through celebrating your successes, you are providing yourself with an opportunity to reflect on how far you've come. It is a good reminder of where you started and where you might be headed. One thing I want to point out here is that progress never really ends. Maybe you've experienced this. Once you accomplish a goal, most likely there is another one that you set out to achieve. Our goals are constantly evolving. If you wait to celebrate until you've achieved them all, well, who even knows when that might be? So, it is important to celebrate along the way. You owe yourself that. So next time you're feeling frustrated or the urge to quit, remember all of these habits I just mentioned. Let's focus on having a growth mindset. In your next PDF, there will be an opportunity for you to practice shifting towards having a growth mindset. So be on the lookout for that. At any heart rate, I'll see you next time. Bye!